Good evening, everybody. I would like to call to order the regular meeting of the Monee Village Board of Trustees, July 26, 2023, 6:33. If I could please invite Pastor Dave Short to come up for the invocation.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I worked for a gentleman many years ago who said something to me that I've never forgotten, and it really impacted me. And he said this, he said, "Don't ever let success go to your head, but don't let failure go to your heart." And that's sometimes hard to balance, right? Father, we come to you and asking for your help to cause us to be humble, to have a listening ear for one another, and to do justice and love deeply. And Father, we ask you, Lord, also those that have experienced failure, maybe over the last few days, God, that you would strengthen them. Lord, those that are here and in the room and maybe even listening, watching, maybe they've thought about giving up. They've lost hope. The regret is too much. And we just ask you, Father, to strengthen them. And we just say, don't give up, don't stop. And so, Lord, we just pray over this entire meeting. Father, the successes and the failures, Lord, we just throw them to the side right now. And we ask that you would be in the midst of us, giving us guidance and direction. And we ask it in your precious name. Amen.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Present.
Trustee Horn.
Here.
Trustee Henson.
Present.
Trustee Rakes.
Present.
Trustee Wilson.
Present.
Trustee Udris.
Present.
Open to the public, agenda items only. May I please have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion, Mayor. Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Thank you. It is now time for the public meeting regarding the Court Street sidewalk. So I'd like to ask Jeff Agin from Robinson Engineering to come up.
Thank you, Mayor. Board. So the village has been awarded funds for constructing a sidewalk along Court Street from the Village Hall all the way over to Wilson Road. We know this has been a long time coming, so we have IDOT funding with this, state and federal funding both. And so one of the requirements of the funding is to have a public information meeting, just kind of explain and run through the project. The project is pretty basic, pretty simple. It's a great project. It's a long time coming. Safe House to School is one of the components of the project. So by implementing this project, we're closing that large gap from Village Hall all the way over to Wilson Road, which is going to allow the majority of the village pedestrian access to the school. This project is going to consist of constructing a 6-foot wide sidewalk throughout the project limits, regrade the ditch accordingly, and culvert extension to help make everything drain properly. And then as far as the timeline goes, we can follow IDOT's schedule with the funding. And so we're working on preliminary engineering, environmental studies right now. That should be completed in the summer, fall of 2023. Final design will be fall, kind of winter of this coming 2023, 2024. And then construction would be targeted for the spring or summer of next year. Again, we got SDP funding as well as Safe House to School, so the majority of the project is actually being funded by the state, which is great. We got the 250 straight Safe House to School plus 80-20 for 80% federal, 20% municipal for the balance. So it's a really a great deal for the village. So We have comment cards that are available up here. If anybody would like to provide any comments or feedback or suggestions, we'd be happy to receive those. It's a sign-in sheet as well. It's been floating around, and there's one up here, so if you didn't have a chance to sign it, I'd appreciate it. So, any questions or comments, anything? It's something we've all been looking forward to.
Jeff, I do have a comment and a question. So as my wife and I do a morning walk around town, especially in the old part of town, Court Street included, we do see a lack. Some places have really well laid out sidewalks, but there's some glaring deficiencies, particularly on Main Street, on the east, Main Street eastward, going east. Again, it's a kind of thing where you have a sidewalk for a section and it just drops off. There's no sidewalk there. Is it possible to expand the footprint of the Safe Pathways to School project to include part of Main Street on that?
Right. Unfortunately, for this particular project, the parameters are set already.
Okay.
They don't allow expansion, but that's definitely something we can look at in the future as well. I know we've talked with Ed and Ruben and looking at some other sidewalk gaps within the village that we can close to help provide that continuity.
That's great. Thank you.
So, and just as a comment here too, people probably know how strongly I feel about this. 17 years ago was the first time I asked for a sidewalk along Court Street to Village Hall and worked on a couple of the first years of Safe Routes to School. Obviously, we got the one along Will Center when Monee Elementary opened up. But I was told that first year, I asked that to be a priority project, and I was told at the time, you've got to be kidding me. So all these years coming, I am so, so pleased. And I know Robinson has been with us since back then, working on this project. I am so, so pleased. Thank you.
Yep, so again, if you have any comments, feel free to grab a card and drop them off, and we're going down to the village as well, too. I think August 4th is the deadline for that. Thanks.
Thank you, Jeff. Moving on to the clerk's report.
Thank you, Mayor Bogues. Just wanted to make mention that Governor State University is hosting a housing rights for renters and homeowners workshop on Thursday, August 3rd, from 6:30 to 7:30. It will be at the Eberston Hall. This, of course, is for tenants' rights, help for homeowners, housing discrimination, rental scams, because, of course, they've been stating a lot of that has been going on when it comes to renters, not all renters, of course, and then services offered by the legal clinic. So, of course, that, once again, is Thursday, August 3rd, 6:30 to 1:30. I'm sorry, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. I do not have a report tonight, but I do want to say thank you to everybody who came out to the Pavilion grand opening. It was hot out there, but it's a beautiful facility, and we want to thank PBS and everybody involved with making it become a reality. So thank you for that. Moving on to the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. First item under my report is to introduce Ken Chastain with the Farnsworth Group. Ken is going to share with the board and the public an update regarding Fireman's Park and then the next phase we're planning on. Ken, it's all yours.
Appreciate trustees' comments about how long something can take, right? And as well as not letting failure go to your heart.
Excuse me, can you come over to the mic? Everyone can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, sure. So tonight, we just really wanted to give a real quick overview of what's coming up for Fireman's Park. We have a big event, obviously, right after Labor Day, Fall Fest, and right after that, we're going to be starting on a project to do the underground utilities on the park to prepare for a major project, which is in front of you tonight. So just one of the things we want to make sure we do is we want to get that underground done. We want to get the storm sewer in, the water connections in, the sanitary connections in, because should the board agree we would like to start next week on the overall design of the major overhaul of Fireman's Park. And it's an exciting project. It's one of those things that you just really look forward to doing because it's got all these good components in it. So we're talking about a brand-new reconfigured baseball field with new dugouts for softball and baseball, a new multi-purpose turf field for football and soccer and lacrosse. We'll have a new concession stand with public bathrooms there that are ADA compliant. We'll have walking paths throughout the park that will be ADA compliant finally, and we'll have lighted parking lights to give us more security. A new storage building to move the one, get rid of the one out front and get one in back that looks more modern and looks more attractive. And a new playground that'll be totally inclusive for people of all kind of backgrounds, children of all abilities. So this is an exciting project. We're hoping to start the design. We're ready to go next week. And the plan is to have it ready for bidding by late of 2023 to 24, and then to be able to get that constructed starting in spring of 24. And then be able to have it concluded by May of 2025. The budget is set at about $3.8 million, and as you know, you received a grant from the state Illinois Department of Natural Resources for the OSLAD grant, and that's going to help cover a substantial portion of it. And that $3.8 million includes not only the construction but also the design services and the bidding and all of the components that go along with it for that. So we're excited to be able to get started on it, and would look forward to getting a chance to answer any questions you might have tonight. I know you're all pretty familiar with it. We've talked about it so many times, but just wanted one more time before we get started.
Just to clarify, bid let in fall '23.
Yep, you're right. I'm sorry.
Thank
Yep,
you.
I'm sorry. Correct.
And that'll be finished in May of '25?
Well, actually, I think that we're getting these dates mixed up. So it finishes in May of '25. We want to start construction in April of '24. So the bidding would be in probably November of 23.
Thank you.
So does that mean no access to the park next summer?
Right, so we're going to rely on Diana and her team to be able to manage this valuable park, right? And it's going to be a challenge, I'm sure. But it would take out of commission, a season of sports there.
Okay.
And it starts, again, we're starting after Fall Fest. We want to be able to really, promote it at that point, but we also want to be able to get the park in its place to where it's not going to be used for quite a while. So I guess that's fall football, all the way going through another season.
Okay.
So 2 football seasons?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Right. How it's staged will be one of the things we'll be working out with the contractor. So there might be components that we start and stage, before others. So maybe the new turf field is first before the baseball field. Then we've got that building, we've got a demo, and then build a new concession building with with the bathrooms in it. So at some point, there's going to be a number of things going on concurrently. But a lot of that's going to be determined by what we can do on the design to see if we can manipulate how and when these things are staged.
And Trustee Rakes, the football team I know is going to be using the high school for their season. So that's been worked out.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you for this opportunity again and for considering our team and getting a chance to jump on this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. So the next item is segues into professional service agreement for Fireman's Park Phase 1 improvements. In accordance with tonight's presentation, Farnsworth Group has proposed an outline professional service agreement to provide landscape architectural and engineering design, bidding, and construction administration services for the Fireman's Park Phase 1 improvements. The scope of services is as follows: baseball, softball diamond with dugouts, bullpens, and batting cages, multi-purpose grass sports field, 2 sand volleyball courts, concessions and public restrooms building, children's playground, accessible sidewalks, and lighted parking lots. Also included in the Fireman's Park Osled Phase 1 Master Plan, September of '22, the infrastructure project, 6 of '23, with the overall project budgeted set at $3,805,000, which includes construction design, potential archaeological survey, and CPA audit. Board action request is a motion to approve the mayor signing the professional services agreement with Farnsworth Group, which includes a scope of services outlined in their proposal for a fixed fee of $461,400.00.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakis.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Next item under my report is a block party request. The Monee Police Department has received a block party request from Cody Christensen, and Mr. Christensen is here tonight to answer any questions there may be. The requested date is Saturday, August 19th, 2023, beginning at 2 p.m. through 11 p.m. The event location would be held on South Linden Avenue between Astor Place and South Middle Point Avenue. Mr. Christensen has spoken with the majority of the residents on South Linden Avenue and has garnered their supporting signatures, which is attached in your packet. If approved, barricades will be set up and removed before and after the event, allowing only emergency vehicle traffic. The police department will ensure all block party guidelines are strictly enforced. Board action request is a motion to approve the block party application as requested.
So moved.
Any discussion needed? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakis.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Thank you, Mr. Christensen.
Thank you. Have fun.
Be safe.
Thank you. End of my report.
Thank you. Moving on to the officials' reports, Public Works, Trustee Horn.
The only thing, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing I have tonight is just looking forward to branch pickup, which will be August 7th. Is that a Monday?
Yes.
Monday, August 7th. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation, Trustee Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, got a few things, but first of all, too, I wanted to kind of reiterate, thank you to everybody who came to the grand opening of our beautiful pavilion. And I also wanted to make mention of all the other officials, the community and school district officials that came to that event. I feel that was feathers in our cap to see support so far and wide. So thank you to everyone for that. And on to the report. Parks and Recreation held a historic event tonight just before the board meeting, the grand opening and dedication of the long-awaited Fireman's Park Pavilion. Thank you to all who made this pavilion possible and everyone who attended. We're excited to put the good use 50 by 100-foot pavilion. And as it's being christened also tonight is Movies in the Park featuring Stork at dusk. Still taking registrations for yoga, taekwondo, Zumba, and many other programs. Please see the website, the newsletter, or head on over to Parks and Rec to see what's coming up next. And also on, they also have a very active Facebook page, the Parks and Rec Department, right on Facebook. And now, just over 6 weeks from now is Fall Fest, so be on the lookout for all that's happening for that. For details will come in the mail. End of report.
Great, thank you. Finance, Trustee Rakis.
Thank you, Mayor. Excuse me. On the report tonight, the general fund for the month of July currently has revenues of $937,000 and expenses of $706,000. The first quarter of the fiscal year has revenues of $3,500,000 and expenses of $2,400,000. The first quarter numbers are in line with projected revenues and expenses. For any residents looking to file a tax appeal with Will County, please feel free to contact the village at 708-534-1045 or email taxrelief@villageofmonee.org to make an appointment. The village can help point you in the right direction, give you the deadlines, and provide answers to questions you may have. The time has come for the village's second consecutive property tax relief program. Beginning August 1st, applications for property tax relief program will be available online and mailed during the month of August. Applications will be accepted August 1st through September 29th. All applications must be received by 4 p.m. on September 29th. The program will reimburse homeowners 50% of their Village of Monee taxes for tax bill of 2021. Your requirements are a copy of the 21 property tax bill paid in 2022. Originals will not be accepted and the village will not make copies. Copy of your current Illinois driver's license or state ID listed the homeowner's current Monee address. Applicant must hold legal or equitable title to such homestead real estate continuously between January 1st, 2021 and December 31st, 2021. Applicant must not have received rental income from the subject property. Applicant must have no past due bills, tickets, violations owed to the village. End of report.
Great, thank you. Economic Development, Trustee Wilson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Director Bill Barnes is continuing to work and meet with developers in reference to commercial development on M&M. He's looking into software Placer AI, location intelligence and foot traffic insights, which is mobile location data. We have begun to gathering some information as we become familiar with this program on traffic counts, popular businesses, attractions, and etc. We will be able to give an overview and demo of the program in about 4 to 6 weeks upon board review. Director Bill Barnes has met with Dave's Supermarket in Fairbury on July 19th. He met with the founder's son and grandson in reference building a second location here in Monee. Unfortunately, at this time, they're not interested in building a second location. Under Magnified Monee, archway signs. So we discussed previously in meetings that we were talking about the archway signs for the 100th anniversary beautification plans. He met with the structural architect for this project, who will design a great-looking and strong archway that will be located at the base of Court Street Bridge and Egyptian Trail and M&M near the main entrance to Town Center next spring. The 150th anniversary logo has been decided on. This department also designed and will be finalizing for approval the logo for Parks and Recs also, so still looking for input on that. Also, we have part of tonight I would like to call up Director Bill Barnes at this time to give a presentation. He has some information as moving forward on some architectural stuff.
Sorry, which part am I talking about? Because I have so many different things.
You call it.
You pick?
You
Okay.
got it.
Oh, boy. Got it. Okay, so last Wednesday, I've been working on this for a while and have shared it with the board. Have met with planning and zoning. I think the board has been talking about a mural program for quite a while. So we had to develop some criteria as to what's acceptable and what's, well, just what's acceptable. So we would start with this. This is it. This is the mural. So, so any shade of gold you want. Right. It's darker at night, so it's, sorry. So we would start on this wall, so which is next to the police station. This is the Village Inn. And so this, a little bit quickly about this painting. So this painting I saw at the creamery in the historic building. And it was done a while ago to represent, old Monee. And then we've taken some with the designer, added, of course, the American flag, which is part of the criteria, which I'll show in a second. We added the older police car, and then officer friendly over there. And coincidentally, he's hiding behind the tree looking for speeders. It just wasn't planned that way, but and then we would change the logo a little bit. I know the chief is working on a 150th, I think, our new police shield, so that would change on the car. So this is actually a vinyl, almost like a Klingon, so to speak. So it's heated up and it sticks to any different brick, and I think at the other end it's cinder block and such. But we have to make sure that the wall is stable, so we'd have to spend a little bit of money there. So this could be done. Well, it could be done this year yet, if we so choose. So the criteria is that it has to be historical to Monee or Illinois, should be patriotic, and these are parts. It doesn't have to be all inclusive in here, but these are different themes. One of the trustees, the P&Z, had mentioned the work that came into digging the railroad by hand, and they said, that's another good one that we could put in their rail. First responder based, nature inspired, and of course always better if they're plants that are native to Illinois and such. And then abstract, non-graffiti. So it would be something similar to this, and I think I showed this last time. These are the traffic light boxes. So the one on the right kind of gives you an idea of abstract. So it could be like that, stained glass or what have you. And these would all be obviously approved, the submissions by us. The one thing that we're looking at for these traffic light boxes, these are all vinyl wraps as well, is kind of to do a call for entries or almost a contest with students, art students, and even local, if they just don't go to school and they're just really talented, to create original pieces of art all throughout the village, which would create, I think, a lot of inspiration for people and excitement. This is the price. Let me zoom in on this so you can see. So there's two different options. So the first one is that's the full-on, attached, I guess, vinyl. So the cost would be a little under $20,000, and that doesn't include, any work that has to be done underneath. Keep in mind these are vinyl. I heard a wow, but these are, since it's vinyl, it's going to last a lot longer than it would just painted on the building. And then the second one is, if you can see, if I can go, I guess that's as large as I can get it. But this would be within a frame, a plastic frame, so it would be basically like a billboard. It's stretched. Administrator Batista and I went to Lockport and we saw one firsthand. I actually like the look of and the idea of the full-on attached to the building because it completely covers it and it's longer lasting. So those are the two costs. So $19,000 for the full building attachment, and then for the framed partial is $12,400, call it. So those are, and then I think we would then create an ordinance for all of the criteria. I think that's what we're talking, kind of, right? So, any questions, comments?
So, Bill, what you're saying is it's $20,000 for the vinyl for the whole wall,
Correct.
and then an additional $12,400
No.
for the frame.
No, it's two different things, two different ideas. First one is the full, so it's all attached, and the other one is just a frame and then this vinyl piece basically stretched inside of it. So he could take it out and you could change it more often, but it's not as long lasting as the one that's attached to the actual brick. So it's basically like taking a picture frame and sliding something into the frame, and these plastic frames snap over to hold it in place. So, and again, but then you've got the border around it. So to me, it just doesn't have the same effect that the one on top does. So two different ones. Mm-hmm. You could, but you'll spend another 12,000 or however much, minus the frame, true. So what is the frame? Yeah, so the vinyl is 1,200, so, yeah.
Can you talk inside your mic, please? I'm sorry.
Is Ed still here?
Yeah.
So, and I guess, my question is, to prepare the brick for an installation like this, is there a lot of this that maybe Public Works can help prep the project?
I haven't actually looked all that closely.
Yeah, I
at
know,
the
I'm
condition of the
blindsiding you,
wall.
I'm so sorry, I'm sorry.
The short answer is probably.
So if we can sub part of it, to our own help, maybe we can get the price down or something if we
As far
were
as
to affix it to the
stabilizing
wall?
and making sure that there's no loose and just
Yeah,
patching it?
yeah.
Sure. Yeah, and then we would just we would want to paint, obviously get rid of the gold and yellow on the right and just paint the building first. So you have something, maybe a gray or something like that, a little more neutral.
And I know this is kind of like is it blindsiding the Village Inn? Do they know that this might be coming, or have we talked about
No, I
this
think
wall?
I think it's been talked about for quite a while. The owner that passed away, and then I think the people that are running it are aware of it,
Okay,
and they're in agreement.
that's all I have.
Yeah, this might be more of a question for council. So what would we have to put in place? Some kind of user agreement or space utilization?
I'm just wondering, is that graffiti proof?
Nothing is graffiti proof.
But there is a film I think you can put on it where you could just wash it off, because, that
I
might,
mean, it's vinyl. I could ask.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it's a
Because
good
you hate to
question.
see it go up and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Well, if this one is going to be in the police station parking lot, I'm guessing we won't have a whole lot of.
I'll bet your dinner on that one, okay?
Chief was here.
And then this is just the start, of course, of the, a program, because I know, Second Place is looking to do something on their building, and then, again, when we do the traffic light boxes and we do that, once we get a pricing on that, so, we'll look for other places to do this as well. And so, yeah, if we wanted to do, the framework and then change it out more often. So, but I think, Mayor, I think we're just looking for an agreement as to the language and that type of thing. Yeah.
Is there something where we could utilize the space for, I like the idea of being able to change it. Seasonally or eventfully. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could definitely swap it out. I mean, again, to Trustee Gonzalez's point is, the greater cost is the framework, and of course, there's the mounting. And again, I don't know if that's the mounting. I have to clarify if that's the mounting of the actual vinyl. I'm assuming it is. And then plus, so that then you're looking at $4,000. But I have to clarify that. And he's on vacation right now, so when he comes back next week, I'll ask. Yeah, sure. Okay. All right, thanks.
And just to make mention that Director Bill Barnes is also working with a plumbing company out of Hazel Crest. They're looking to relocate here in Monee. So he's working on that. there's a lot of things in the making we can't talk about yet, but hopefully that they come to fruition, and as soon as we are able to talk about them, we will. As always, shop Monee when available. End of report, ma'am.
Thank you. Building Services, Trustee Henson.
Thank you, Mayor. A correction from last board meeting report as it relates to location of trash bins, location for pickup. Please place your trash and recycling bins out of public sight by 7 p.m. on the day of pickup. Also, Republic will only allow one large item a week, and it is recommended that you inform Republic prior to so they can schedule accordingly. Please do not place items for pickup on the street. A permit was issued for Monee Liquors to rebuild the storefront that was damaged by the vehicle impact, and there are still property owners, landlords, who have not renewed their rental licenses. Please note that these are now past due. Late notices were mailed out 2 weeks ago, and we are hoping for prompt compliance. End of report.
Thank you. Public Safety, Trustee Udris.
Thank you, Mayor. For emergency management, on July 15th, EMA assisted Will County Forest Preserve Police with the Monee Reservoir Surf and Turf Concert. EMA provided 7 traffic units and were out there for approximately 5.5 hours. EMA is also working with the National Weather Service to relocate their local monitoring equipment to the Monee EMA building. They need a location that can report data back to them 24/7. Any costs that will be incurred by that will be paid for and covered through National Weather Service, so there'll be no cost to the village for it. The benefit is that all the data will be shared with Monee EMA, and they'll be able to get it in real time. So that's pretty exciting. For our police department, Monee Police Department is in the final stages of hiring another new officer. He's currently completing the medical and psychological testing. Hope to be able to send him to the academy starting on September 5th. This will finally put us at full staffing for the police department. Very exciting. Also, interviews for a new detective were completed yesterday, and a selection will be made in the next week. Thank you to Distinguished Designs and Print of Monee for helping us create a new design for our squad cars and for the great job of the quality application. It was a fun collaboration, and it felt great to work with one of Monee's own unique businesses. One of the squads is actually parked out front in the lot tonight, so please take a look at it, and hopefully everybody enjoys it. It's pretty cool looking. National Night Out. Remember, National Night Out is coming this Tuesday, August 1st, at the Monee Reservoir from 5 to 7:30 p.m. It's always a great time and plenty of games for the kids. We do have some flyers out front. Right here. Oh, right here in the center there. But again, don't hesitate to call the police department if you have any questions about it. I mentioned this at the last board meeting. I would love to see us just flood the reservoir to show our officers how much they mean to us. So hope to see everybody out there. And we also want to remind everybody that August 4th is the Monee Police Department golf outing at Green Garden. All proceeds go to Special Olympics. We also have flyers for that here, same spot. On the table there, as well as information for whole sponsorship if you're interested. End of report.
Great, thank you. Moving on to the attorney's report, Larry.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 5 items for the board's consideration. The first item, we received a proposal from Seafried Development. They're building that unit out in Ridgeland Avenue. They're asking us to acknowledge an easement agreement by and between BP Oil and Monee Logistics, the new owner of this property. There's no liability from the village's standpoint. It's just that we are acknowledging this agreement, and that some of the land or construction may involve some of the land that was dedicated to the village. Well, from our standpoint, there is no liability, but we would need a motion authorizing the mayor to execute the same on behalf of the village of Monee.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
That's just acknowledgement that it's there, and we have no liability on that.
No liability, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, they're building out there, and what they're doing is some of the building out there might involve some land that's dedicated to us. They'll fix it, but there is no liability from our standpoint. They need this to get the roadway done for the project.
Understood.
Larry, I have a question, because I know it's listed on here as review of proposals, not necessarily for action.
We can take it. We can take action on it. It's fine. There's no problem. There's only one proposal, and that's their proposal, so
Okay.
I feel comfortable with it.
We have a first and second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item, if the board recalls, we had a meeting to discuss a donation from our TIF 5 for the Monee Fire Protection District with respect to a purchase of a new pumper. I believe there is a consensus for me to draw up the intergovernmental agreement, which I believe is before the board tonight. I did send a copy of it to Chief Nealon's counsel late last week. So it's up for the board's review and consideration.
I will make that motion.
Second.
Discussion?
I would ask the board at this time that we would table it to work out the particulars as far as, we seem to have a consensus that we are definitely going to help out or assist our fire protection district. As to what that looks like, we need to have further discussion, and I would ask that we would table it and, with your permission, Mayor, committee it, so we can have that conversation.
I would second that from him. Also, I agree. I know.
Tabling it. Postpone? Postpone, okay.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. This was to approve the agreement. And so if you wanted to do that, then we have to have the first and second.
Motion.
Rescind that back, so then we can do for motion to postpone. So that would be yourself and
Yeah.
Scott?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and so you would like to, I'll put you for first for this one, and second?
Second.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item is, if the board recalls, we had an agreement with Mr. Leader, who's present tonight. His counsel is unavailable, but Mr. Leader is the gentleman building where the old BC Development Project was. This ordinance will authorize the mayor to execute the agreement on behalf of the Village of Monee. The only minor change in the agreement from last meeting, we did ask for a completion date, and the completion date for Mr. Leader for not the infrastructure, but for the buildings would be 2028. And also, he understands that the payments made to him will be on an installment basis. When Mr. Leader brings in the lien waivers, he will be reimbursed for the lien waiver. It won't be one lump sum, and so if the board feels comfortable, I know Mr. Leader is here tonight. I say everything correct, Mr. Leader? So if the board feels comfortable tonight, we can authorize the approval of this ordinance on behalf of the Village of Monee.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
2037.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item, I know Mr. Barnes came up to talk about the mural ordinance. I did draft one a while ago. I'll have to change it to incorporate the discussions tonight. So there'll be no action, I believe, taken on this. I'll have the final ordinance for the board's review and consideration at the, not next meeting, I'll be in Iceland. So, oh, maybe. Going with my relatives, so. Yeah. So we just need a motion to table to
I'll
the
make
next
that
meeting
motion.
in August, the second meeting in August.
I'll make the motion to postpone it till the second meeting in August.
Second.
Trustee Horn?
Can I make?
Trustee Henson?
Is there
Yes.
discussion then? Just really quickly discussion then. So this ordinance, if, as you redo it or make those things, made changes that P and Z had in front of it. So I know P and Z also has an ordinance book, so we just want to make sure that this ordinance then will mirror what's in their
Yes, yes, ma'am.
codification. Thank you.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. And the last item for the board's consideration, I know Bill has been in constant discussion with Premax, the company who wants to build near, let's see, Route 50 and Egyptian Trail. So I know Bill's been involved in the discussion, so if Bill can come up and indicate what the last proposal was last week from Premax, or Primax.
Thank you, Larry. So, of course, as everybody knows, we've been working for several months with Primax on a national retailer. We're close. We had presented to them, we've gone back and forth with various things that are acceptable and that what the village would pay for and that type of thing. So the last week, at the end of the week, when I talked to Neil Bates, the representative for Primax, he said, we're very close. He said, the good news is that our real estate person is going to take it into the retailer's senior leadership team next week to present them. And he said, that's good. He said, however, if we could get more in TIF money, that would really help. So that's what I think we presented, 70% TIF reimbursement. And then they're looking for more, preferably 80%. So we're very close. Fingers crossed.
And this is from the company that in the beginning said 0 TIF money is what they were asking for, and now we're up to 70? Did I remember this? Up to 80?
I don't remember the zero.
I thought in the very beginning, they were not wanting any TIF money for this project.
And say that I don't recall that, sorry.
I just wanted to know if I was remembering that correctly.
Yeah. The one thing that he did mention, of course, was we're working to try and make the town center part of the enterprise zone, and that's in the process. So, that would be tax-free building materials and that type of thing. So as long as they're in Illinois, and they, of course, said, well, we don't know where the builders, once it happens, where they're going to buy materials from, but that's incentive for the builders, not really the developer. So, questions for me? No? Okay.
I guess, Bill, we're getting to the point where we're going to have to make a decision one way or the other, but...
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully after next week.
Yeah. How are you feeling on this?
Well, I asked him flat out, I said, okay, if we were at 65% as far as, odds that it'll happen, the deal will happen, I said, if we go to 80, does that mean it's going to be 80%? And he said, well, it's going to be a lot, obviously a lot more appealing to them if they get another 10% back in TIF money. So I'd like to think that, with all of the work that we've been doing and that they're very serious about it, obviously, that it's just, we're close.
Okay. I'd like to see show good faith here. We're getting close to the end of the rope. So.
Right, yeah. If I had a crystal ball, but, yeah.
I appreciate your hard work. Thank you.
Sure.
We're okay with that. What are we giving later? Pardon me? What are we giving later? The 800,000 from the TIF.
Larry, just to make sure, are we postponing this?
Well, I guess at this point in time, if we're that close, if the board feels comfortable with 80%, I could draft one for 80% for the board's review and possibly send it to the other side saying this is a final version, still subject to the board approving it. That way they can't come back to us and saying, hey, maybe 85%. So if it's going for their finance committee, they're gonna want something, fairly quickly.
When we first talked to them, it wasn't nearly 80. It was at 65 and now 70, and now they're coming back at 1145 and going to 80?
Well, I don't think they're asking for 80. I think he wants that wiggle room. So our best offer is basically, Bill, if you can explain it a little further in depth.
Yeah, so again, they're presenting it next week. So if we can give them an answer, obviously that's going to help them and hopefully get a decision, a yes vote. Again, I think all along, I think we did talk about 70. I think that's pretty standard in talking to Daryl. He's not here now, but so again, 80 would sweeten the deal for them, and that's all I can say. And so I'd say if it's another 10% and we can bring in a national retailer. Oh, there he is. You're usually on that side. That's what
He's incognito tonight.
Yeah, okay.
I would be good with no higher than 75, that's my opinion, because of all the discussion prior.
Daryl will tell you 5% to kill the deal is not worth it.
Okay. But are they gonna ask for 85
I'll go 80.
now?
Yeah, I'll agree to 80.
I'll agree to 80 as well.
80,
No more than 80.
yes.
Okay, I would agree with that.
Final offer?
Yeah, because it sweetened the deal for them because they realized that Tractor Supply then would get retail as well, which would be beneficial to everybody.
Okay. Do you want me to? Just to let the board know, Ruben reminded me that we did offer part of the possible sales tax back to them to get the note paid full, quicker. The one thing to consider too, that when we bought this property, it was from TIF money. So that came from, when we bought the St. James property, that was from that TIF. So any TIF money we get out of this or benefit will have to go back into TIF other than sales tax. All right, so that 80% is probably fair because, this has been, and technically, under the law, there's got to be some development within so many years. There's been no development out there. And if they can put some of the infrastructure in for us, that, as Bill said, that could be the keystone for us. So, and we could show the schools that we're attempting the best we possibly can to get that property developed, because that will come up at the joint review board. So, again, I can draft it, send a copy to Ruben, distribute it to the board, and indicate to them this is a final. You never say final, but this has got to be it. I'm sorry.
Okay, motion to draft the agreement, no more than 80%.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
All right, moving on to unfinished business. Ruben.
Thank you, Mayor. Under unfinished business, 5510 West Court Street. At the last board meeting on July 12th, 2023, Economic Development Director, you're a man of the hour tonight, provided an overview of the village's property located at 5510 West Court Street. This parcel is scheduled as one of the village's beautification projects during fiscal year 2024. This particular location is in the entryway of our commercial district, nestled in the northeast quadrant of Court Street at Governor's Highway intersection. 3 area businesses met with the village regarding this beautification project, and 2 of those businesses provided quotes. Those quotes have been attached to your packet for review and consideration. Since the July 12th board meeting, clarification has been made on the quoted prices for the flagpoles and installation. Tunzi & Sons only included the flagpole installation in their quote. Arch Landscaping included both, 3 flagpoles and their installation. So the board action request tonight is a motion to approve one of the bids submitted to the village for the parcel located at 5510 West Court Street for the beautification project. First is Tunzi and Sons Landscaping Incorporated at $139,370.00. The second bid is Arts Landscaping PGM Designs LLC at $139,924.61.
I'll make a motion of Arts.
Second.
Discussion?
The reason I made that motion is because this one includes for an extra 6.
It's
It includes
8,000.
8, okay. For an extra 8, it includes the flagpoles and installation and everything, where the other one didn't. That's why I'm picking the one that is a little bit more, just for general information. Because you had said that
I wasn't sure.
installation, you weren't sure of
Right,
how
and they
much
said
it
they
would
would
be.
install them, right, and then when I went back and asked the question, he said, we'll install, but we're not furnishing them, so that's the difference.
Yeah, exactly why I'm
Right.
making the motion.
Right.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Thank you, Board.
Sorry, and not
Next one,
to,
Larry.
just, this is for Doug's sake. I'm looking, so.
Not included.
not
Just a
included.
little,
Definitely not included.
just a little taste. You showed that for like
That's right.
5 seconds, and then it's gone.
That was it.
It's a planner.
Larry is the next one.
Middle of the
Oh,
night.
I'm sorry. Phased out. The last item under unfinished business, if the board recalls, we put out the property at Monee, Manhattan, and Governor's Highway, or Egyptian Trail, for a bid. The only bid who came in was Primax. What we should award it, in my opinion, award it to them, subject to the execution of redevelopment agreement. They are not going to sign a redevelopment agreement unless they got the land. So, you know, it runs hand in hand. They're incorporated. But at this point in time, it should be a motion awarding the sale of the property to Monee, Manhattan, and Governor's Highway to Primax, subject to the execution of a redevelopment agreement. That protects us in case they back out. So it's up for the board's review and consideration.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Any new business, anybody? Okay. Open to the public, non-agenda items? Anyone? All right, may I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
I'm sorry, let me repeat that again. Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
7:31 PM.